Hello, all you lovely people. I have an announcement to make which involves some good news and bad news. Let me begin with the bad news and the reason why this video is appearing in what would be the Frolicker in Chief's time slot. Due to Darren Mr. Daily Blase's travels, there will be no Friday Frolic tonight. Now for the good news. Here's an episode of Gammon News to whet your appetites and hopefully tide you lovely people over until tomorrow at 5 p.m. The Frolicker-in-Chief and legend that is Daily Blase invites you all to take part in some Saturday silliness.
Yes. You know what time it is. It's Gammon time. From that woman who has that wonderful and natural the natural Liverpudlian accent. She's kept her accent all the way through her political career. Yes, it's the one, the only Cruella de Vil, the former Minister for Common Sense, Esther McVeigh. Where she writes, the biggest international event of his premiership, the US and Israel attack on Iran to remove Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, a major sponsor of global terrorism, supporting Hezbollah, Hamas, or as they would say, Hamas, and Islamic Jihad, and Keir Starmer was unable to provide a clear answer to whether Britain backed the operation. Other close allies like Canada and Australia, both with left-wing governments. Yeah. I'm not sure they're exactly left-wing, but, you know, categorically supported the move, as have Kemi Badenoch and Nigel Farage. But Starmer, without his former Chief of Staff, Morgan McSweeney, there to tell him what to think, has no idea what his view is. Talk about proper warhawk here. Oh, it gets better. And so, in true Starmer style, he sat on the fence, stayed out of the way, and sent his Defence Secretary, John Healey, out to the crease to do the Sunday media interview, to use Geoffrey Howe's famous analogy. What's that, Esther? Is it carry on flogging the plebs? No. He said, with a bat that had been broken by his own team captain, he left Healey torturously repeating those pre-prepared words. Britain played no part in the strikes on Iran. However, we share the primary aim of all allies in the region and the US that Iran should never have a nuclear weapon. Also, Esther McVeigh, may I ask, do you think that Iran has the right to defend itself, or is it only just Israel? Sorry, I just couldn't resist. But when pushed by Laura Kuntzberg over what that meant, was it an audacious and courageous move by America and Israel, or a reckless and dangerous one? Was it legal or illegal in the eyes of the UK? He couldn't or wasn't allowed to answer the question. I'm not surprised I won't answer it either. That is what you call a loaded question, isn't it, my friends? You see, Starmer is an important leader, a conflicted international lawyer who has never been able to make a decision. And even when he does, he can't stick to them. He twists and turns like a twisty-turny thing and ultimately U-turns. That's why I do wonder, give it a couple of more days, I wonder if he does U-turn and goes all in with Cankles McTaco tits. But anyway, do continue, Cruella. Just as he did on Sunday night to America, belatedly giving the US permission to use Britain's military bases to strike Iran. Well, as far as I was told, it was in limited and specific ways, whatever that means. This latest act of indecision flows from Labour's catastrophic defeat last week at the Gorton and Denton by-election. I'd love to ask Esther McVeigh, what was her thoughts on how well the Conservatives did there, or do you think she will just ignore that, seeing as though they lost their deposit? Given a thumping by the Greens, Starmer has shifted significantly to the left. Yes, according to our Esther McVeigh, our Keir Starmer and this Labour Party are now rampant extreme communists and won't be able to make a decision unless sanctioned by those in his party or the Muslim voters that his party has been hemorrhaging. Full of fear, Keir, can't beat him for sound bites, can you? Is so petrified of those two groups that he can't support Israel, even when it's the right thing to do to stop one of the world's worst dictators who murders his own people and supports terrorism around the globe. Why is she talking about Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, or am I confused? In fact, the lunatic Green Party leader, Zach Belansky, yes, the lunatic Green Party leader, Zach Belansky. Yes, do you know that you Green Party members, you are apparently supporting a lunatic, is now the de facto Prime Minister as Starmer tries to persuade his left-wing MPs not to ditch him. We cannot go on like this. Starmer is destroying our country at home and abandoning our allies around the world, all to cling on to power for no actual purpose. Let's hope the May elections finish him off for good. Now that the Green Party has 5 MPs in the House of Commons, having won the Gorton and Denton by-election last week, and represents constituencies in Bristol, Brighton, Suffolk and Hertfordshire. You can hear the Liverpudlian accent just flowing out of it, can't you? Isn't it time we looked into what the party actually stands for? Oh, you can guarantee that this will be hilarious. In the past, it has been seen as a cuddly party, one that cares about the environment, trees, waterways and beaches, but not anymore. The message it pushed last week was of open borders, legalising heroin and crack cocaine, and while campaigning in Urdu, Labour must be punished for Gaza. The Green Party is no longer the home of harmless tree huggers. It is a hive of fanatical extremism. Yes, all you Green Party members, do you know you are fanatical extremists? You couldn't make this up, could you? I wonder if people in Suffolk and Hertfordshire thought that was what they were voting for. I suspect not. After months of pressure, Ed Miliband has finally reluctantly published the text of his secret energy deal with China. And it's every bit as bad as what could have imagined. Oh, she proper goes round the trees here. Miliband has signed the UK up to cooperating with the Chinese on electricity grids, battery storage and offshore wind, making us even more dependent on China. Security services across the West are warning of the risks of Chinese involvement in energy systems because of secret kill switches they found in solar panel equipment in the US. What is it with Ed Miliband that makes him blind to the failures of net zero and blind to the dangers of China? No wonder he was desperate to keep the details of the deal secret. So did the Conservatives in 2015-16 when they did a deal with China. Sure, so now we're going back to what's the Conservatives' true love here now. Since Labour introduction of its vindictive VAT policy on private schools. 105 have closed last week. Alderley Edge School for girls in my constituency notified parents it too would be closing in July this year. So far, these closures have affected around 25,000 children, all left scrambling to find a school place. Yes, can we have a 1, 2, 3 for all them poor 7% of children that go to private school? As my father would say, my heart bleeds purple piss for them. Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson got all her figures wrong. What, just like Dizzy Lizzie did? She banked on raising £1.4 billion to fund 6,500 teachers. What she didn't foresee was these widespread school closures. So she isn't getting the money she said she'd raise, and she's having to spend more on new school places to replace the ones she has closed. Phillipson should be sent to the bottom of the class and told to do her sums again. Premier League made a big thing of stopping the Leeds v Man City game during its first half to allow Muslim players to break their fast. This is hilarious. So, given how the Premier League clearly believes players' strong religious observance should affect the game, can we expect matches on Saturdays and Sundays to be changed to a different day to accommodate those of a strong Jewish or Christian faith? I rather doubt it. And then we go on to Demi Moore. This is mental. At 63, Demi Moore stole the show at Milan Fashion Show, head to toe in a Gucci black leather outfit. She was a cross between Trinity and the Matrix and Catwoman. And on top of it, she revealed her new sleek cropped bob. She looked great, although maybe a bit too thin for me. As my gran would say, she needs a proper meal inside her. Absolutely mental. Yes, that's your weekly Gammon Watch, and you can't get more mental than that, can you?
I hope that you enjoyed this random and very unplanned edition of Gammon News, and I will catch you all tomorrow on the Saturday Silliness. Thank you, Darren, Mr. Daily Blossay, for brightening up our Friday nights. They are no longer
fucking awful.
Well, folks, if you enjoyed this video, then not only are you lovely people, but you also have great taste, and you should also subscribe to the Two Davies for news and politics from a very Scottish perspective, and that rantastic Mr. McGuinness. You should also subscribe to Mr. Daily Blossay's channel for merriment, mischief, and the Friday frolics. Cue growling cat.